Hey everybody, Jeff Evely here out of Cape Breton, Nova Scotia, back after a couple of weeks in Ottawa visiting with my family for the holidays, and Axel and I were just out enjoying our favorite park. Well, we lost the daylight because the days are a lot shorter now, but we're not going to let that not stop us. And I was on the Talking Heads panel for One Source on Saturday night, hosted by Jason Levine and Nico Logan. They also had truth seeker Tiana on the panel, and the special guests were from the Dominion Society, Daniel Tyree and Greg Wycliffe. And the Dominion Society are advancing the argument for an ethno-state in Canada. And at one point, Greg Wycliffe asked me, isn't it strange that members of 1BC could support Jewish ethno-state in Israel when they don't support ethno-statism for their own country? And I replied, well, that all depends on whether or not you believe the Holocaust really happened. Now, you'll note that that is not actually an accusation, but Greg decided to take it that way so he could melt down like the snowflake that he really is and send his woke outrage mob after me to try to get me canceled. But nevertheless, it is still not an accusation. What I am actually doing there is what Greg would call mansplaining, where I am thinking out loud in an effort to follow the rational chain of analysis that he followed to arrive at the conclusion that he arrived at, that the situation Canadians are faced with in 2025 is analogous to that of the Jews in 1948, without denying the Holocaust. And if you were saying that our situation in Canada is analogous to that of Canadians during the Second World War, then I would be all ears, and I make that analogy all the time. And I say that we've already suffered more casualties than all of the wars of the 20th century combined, but it is still a matter of fact that population went up. The population of Canadians went up during World War II, whereas that is not the case for European Jews, where their population declined by 2/3. And by the way, your analogy kind of falls on its face right off the bat, because what the Jews did was establish a nation in order to preserve their ethnicity, whereas what you guys are proposing is that we establish an ethnicity in order to preserve a nation. But setting that aside, setting that aside, let's just say that that is not the case, and also acknowledging that we agree on population replacement. I'm not talking about the last Christian white man being crucified inside the caliphate 400 years from now because we didn't have enough babies. I'm talking about a rational response on the part of the Jews to a near extinction event of establishing an ethno-state in Israel. So, how did you get to the conclusion that the situation that Canadians are faced with in 2025 is analogous to that of European Jews in 1948 without denying the Holocaust? Greg, how did you do that? Okay, everybody, that's it for me today. Have yourselves a good day, and Happy New Year.